Hey, y'all. I don't think y'all realize how proud I was of my preparation this morning. And then I'm like, how early do you have to start? Because I got ready to go and then the systems just took forever to initialize. It's crazy. Anyway, let's get into it because now, 5 minutes late. I've been sitting here. It's been just the little things been twirling, saying it's initializing. But anyway, we're here. Let me get right into some of these topics. And I know with the market picking up and moving more than some of you guys are probably used to, you probably got a lot of questions, which is good. So it's a very good thing. So hopefully we get those questions in the comments, whether it's about projects, what's going on in the market. Hopefully we have a really good conversation here today, not just as me talking at you guys, but we have a conversation about what's going on in the market. This has been a crazy morning. If you're in the Patreon, you kind of know, but man, I barely got sleep last night. So and had so much stuff to handle this morning. Just been running around the house like I'm getting ready 5 kids for school. But anyway, shout out to Alex Becker. He put out a video yesterday reiterating a lot of stuff that I talk about a lot of the times. And I know if you're new or maybe if you're old, it may sound boring to you and you think, once again, there's just Zoe saying this stuff. And I was watching Alex Becker's video, and it's like I just put on a hat and they like gave me the little Michael Jackson thing or whatever, and it was me talking. But he made up brought out a lot of good points. Hopefully, maybe I'll talk about some today if I remember them. But like I said, it's mainly the stuff that I talk about all the time anyway. Let me see. Let me make one note here though. And so yeah, shout out to Alex Becker. But so I saw this comment on the channel. We are too busy in this cycle, and I got to make money, so I don't try to address any kind of drama. But so the person was like, I would join the Patreon, but why would I join the Patreon if you only have 2 picks? Let me tell y'all something. All my picks are not on this channel. I don't even know if I'm gonna make another video about my picks, because what I see a lot of people trying to do is a lot of people try to make a video about a project first to say that they were the first to talk about the project or whatever, or know about the project. And I get it. I guess, that's how people get subscribers or whatever. It was like, oh, this guy was first because there's the proof on his YouTube channel. I'm not worrying about proving that to anybody, because what I can say, there's a number of plays that we got into from months ago and even up to now where I'll, give it to the Patreon or whatever. And then like a week or 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe even a month later, you see another YouTuber channel talk about it and they'll be saying, we were first. See, I do the whatever. I don't care to prove the point that I was the first to it. You should be able to tell hopefully you should be able to tell by the knowledge I talk about on the channel and the lives that, I pretty much know what's going on in the market. I'm not going to be first to every pick. For one, I don't want every pick. But no, I don't just, I think I made a couple of videos on here about different projects, but there's way more picks in the Patreon. So I guess the person thought I shouldn't have a Patreon because they thought I only had 2 picks, and it's whatever. You guys can talk about it in the comments and let them know that we're definitely getting into this stuff early. And then you'll see other channels talk about it, or maybe do a buy alert later. But anyway, that is what it is. So I can't help that's how the person thinks. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. So let's get into it. So like I said, this all-time high area of 69,000, 68,000. We're gonna kick against this a couple of times probably. A lot of people saying that we won't, and I'll talk about some of that stuff later, that they think we're just gonna eventually this week break through it. That's a possibility. I talk about it because that's a possibility, and it's kind of part of the news of Bitcoin and the crypto market and prices or whatever, because we did tap that 69 one time here back on the March 5th. But I'm really thinking months out, which is going to be probably a big topic that I'll talk about today, the timing of the cycle. But this is still near term. I'm not worried about whatever happens until, 6 to 8 months from now. You know what I mean? So this short term stuff I'm not really focused on, but it's cool. The price is kind of stable, or pretty stable, above 65,000, which is good. We had this wig down here on the 5th that a lot of people got scared out and started selling their altcoins because other channels or Twitter pages were saying that you could buy your altcoins cheaper. And as I always tell you, just like Alex Becker told you, this is not, let me say it this way. In the bear market, even I was making trades. I told you this a couple of times on the channel. when you start this bull market that we're in, when Bitcoin is moving, we're around all-time high and people speculating it going higher, and we're really starting to get into that euphoria phase, you definitely do not need to be trading. I'm telling y'all. And people, I'm not trying to sound condescending or like I'm smarter than anyone, because yes, I use information and knowledge that I have from the cycles before, but some people are so stuck on what they learned in the cycles before that they can't change their point of view. They can't move and realize this time is a little bit different or a lot of bit different actually. Because I keep saying, I don't even know if we're going to get these 30% drops. I think our biggest drops will be 20% drops in Bitcoin, which is probably still going to scare some of you guys that are new. But yeah, so people keep saying it's going to drop. You need to trade out your altcoins. Like, stop it. Please stop it. I tell you all the time. Alex Becker told you yesterday. So yeah. But anyway, I want to harp on that too long. I talk about it all the time. But the thing about this that is real crazy is all this buying that we're having. You know, like I said, the ETFs are having probably about 500 million per day, sometimes 600 million per day in Bitcoin inflows or whatever. But all of this stuff is still happening before the halving is here, which is ridiculous. Like, y'all have to understand this. Like, we do get pre-halving pumps and all that kind of stuff, but this is different. This is crazy. I think me and EA was talking about this a while ago that we may hit all-time high before the halving, and we tapped it. So we did, and we broke it. We're not staying above it right now, but we reached it. And so all this stuff is coming before the halving. And so if we're getting 500 million in Bitcoin inflows like right now today before the halving, you got to think halving cut in half, the rewards of the miners cut in half or whatever. So 500 million per day now is going to be like the equivalent to having a billion per day in 2-3 months from now. Of course, it trickles in, and after the halving and the shift in the rewards or whatever. But understand that 500 million a day now we're getting is going to be like 1 billion a day, and we've already had a tight supply shock already before the halving. So like I talk about all the time, I talked about yesterday, a lot of people talk about these bullish price predictions, 500,000, some people saying even 1 million per Bitcoin. That would be crazy. That would be more money flowing into our altcoins or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a supply shock already because the halving is not here yet. So the price could definitely surge with that amount of money coming into the. We have 500 million coming into the ETFs now. Once the euphoria kicks in, retail will flow into the ETFs, and they will also start buying Bitcoin off the exchanges. So that's going to cause a real supply shock and a surge in the price. So yeah, I mean, it's bullish things, but we'll talk about these things every day because there's two sides of the coin. I try to keep people, on my channel and in my Patreon thinking as balanced as possible. I think one of the biggest problems in the world now is everybody, I don't care who you are, most people on whatever issue they stand on, they stand too far extreme on that issue. I don't want to talk about this too much, but I'll use politics as an example because, we know what politics are. I'm not going to talk about politics, but around it, that, some people be like, I'm right wing or I'm left wing, and it used to be that people were left wing, right wing, or conservative, liberal, whatever. But they were kind of balanced. But now everybody's an extremist. You used to have the ridiculous people that you talked about on both sides of political parties, and you'd be like, okay, I'm this party, but I'm not an extremist. I feel like 80% of people are extremists now. Like, just be saying the most ridiculous stuff, and that's on both sides. I don't really play either side. I know the game that's going on and the divide and conquer, so I don't focus on that stuff. But the same with your mindset when you're thinking about this. Like, you can look at the bullish terms, but you got to also look at what could be the bearish terms. I'm neither bull or bear. I'm sitting right down the middle. I'm looking at both sides. I'm seeing what the bears are talking about. I'm looking at what the bulls are talking about. So I know how to move in this market because both of them play. They play a big role in this, just like back to politics or whether it's crypto, bulls and bears. You got two wings, but it's the same plane. Like, you got to balance that plane out. So you want to be sitting in the middle. You don't want to be sitting on the edge of the wing and fall off. So yeah, this is bullish that a lot of money is inflowing into Bitcoin and stuff. But also, I'll talk about that later because that's probably going to be more extended. But anyway, I did see this. Listen, everybody's pretty much talking about the same thing today or whatever because it's euphoria. But this one person, it could be a company, we don't know. But this one person bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, almost 1.6. Excuse me, 1,586,217,677 worth of Bitcoin. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. And I think the this is kind of funny because y'all know Ethereum gas fees be getting crazy, but I mean Bitcoin is not the cheapest either. But it only cost them $450 to move this $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. You know, Ethereum, you could be trying to at the peak of the cycle, if it gets crazy, you can be trying to move $200 and it costs that much. But yeah, so listen, people are getting really bullish on Bitcoin. They're understanding more so what it is. You still got a lot of people out there still calling it fake money, digital money. You can't spend it in stores. I feel sorry for these people. And some of the people that are close to me, and I know them, they don't understand it. I'm telling you, people are flocking. They're getting away from gold. They're selling stocks. They're getting all. This is one of the best performing assets. And even if they only want to come in and take a nibble for, let's say 3 or 4 months, they're still going to make better returns than they would in some of the stocks that they're in. You know, I know Nvidia is flying and coins been doing pretty well, but like, you know, crypto, you can make a return on your investment so quickly, much more quickly than you can when you're talking about stocks and stuff. You know, there's some good stocks out there, whatever, but yeah, I like the way I can move my money better in Web3 and crypto. So this is another pretty big story. There's people who see this story with different eyes or whatever. But it's Pantera Capital, which is one of the biggest VCs in the space. And so pretty much, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but pretty much they want to buy some of the Solana that FTX was holding. I know there was a whole scare, this bear market in the fall that people thought FTX was going to sell all their Solana holdings or whatever, and Solana was going to crash or whatever. I do believe they hyped that story up so they could cause the crash manually. Like I said, it's always a man pushing the button. So they hyped that whole story up, but I don't think they really ever sold out a lot of that Solana. But Pantera said they want to buy it up. You know, I guess they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna make an ETF. I don't know, but people say it's bullish news for the price movement of Solana. I'm bullish on Solana and stuff. So you know, this is just talking about some of the news that's going on in the market. Well, let me not skip on from that. So with that being said, excuse me, I'm not even reporting. Listen, I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry. I got up early, tried to take a nap. I did a lot of stuff this morning, and even pulling these news stories together. I don't even know how I pull these together because I've just been really busy. But anyway, but I do appreciate you guys coming to the stream. But with this Pantera and Solana news, you know, that when people see news like this, you kind of got to think how the market is going to think. You got to think how retail is going to think. So this is going to make people more, even if it's just for the short term, bullish on the Solana ecosystem. So you're going to see a lot of the Solana tokens and the tokens in the ecosystem starting to move. Even some of the crazy ones that I'm still not going to buy. Actually, let me check on this price real quick as I talk about it. You're going to see some of the tokens starting to move. Even I'm gonna say it because it's gonna take me a while to pull up. But Jupiter, yeah, Jupiter started to move a bit. It was just too big for me. I didn't get into this. I did get the airdrop. I sold it off and bought some other stuff. But you know, with news like this and talking about Pantera and whatever, you're gonna see a lot of the money starts, whether it's retail or traditional investors, whatever, they're gonna start flowing. Money flow is going to start coming into Solana. So that's from the DeFi protocols, the DEXs, the meme coins, and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So if you start seeing movement on your Solana tokens or whatever, this is the reason why, because Pantera is trying to buy up the Solana. Sorry, y'all. Y'all getting information, breaking it down as lamest terms. So this news, I'm gonna talk about it. So I've been seeing people go stupid on Twitter. I have some friends in the space that I really respect. They're loving Polkadot. I'm just kind of off the train. I don't plan on getting back on, but they got the Polkadot 2.0 upgrade coming or whatever. And I have been hearing that they're building that they've been building in the background. Sometimes when you see a project or someone quiet, I keep forgetting my water. I got to stop doing this. When you see people quiet, it doesn't always mean that they're not doing anything. I know they have been building in the background, but just because of the way the cycle is moving, and this is one big thing I'm gonna talk about later, I can't wait to see what y'all going to do. And I'll probably skip ahead to one of my talking points, and I'll come back to it again. But the cycle is just moving faster. And my mindset in every way that I'm investing right now, my own investments, which is the same as what I'm, trying to give to the Patreon. I'm just looking at what if the bullish project that you're waiting to come out doesn't get a chance to come out. One, if it comes out too late. So it's cool. I'm gonna give y'all the news, to do your own research or whatever. If you want to go look in the Polkadot ecosystem, and what I tell people all the time, I try to have the tokens that I'm going to hold regardless. But if some of you have exponential amount of money, and you have your main portfolio, and you have some money that you want to trade with or whatever, then maybe you can look in the Polkadot ecosystem and see what they got brewing for 2.0 or whatever, and just see if you want to find some stuff that's going on over there. But it's not really in my field. Also not in my field, but I'm going to talk about it because it's news in the space. And I talked about this yesterday as well. The NVIDIA conference is coming up, so a lot of the GPU computing power, all those kind of that narratives probably is going to run this week. If you're in any good GPU or AI type plays or whatever, like I always say, I'm just going to hold the ones that I hold. I know it sounds boring, but as I tell you on the channel all the time, and as Alex Becker told you yesterday, sometimes you can't chase every narrative. I know it feels good because you're like, look, told you. I went and chased this narrative and I got an AI coin because NVIDIA was popping off, and I made a 50% gain or 2x or whatever. I mean, that's cool, but you can get slammed in the face and that could backfire on you really hard. If some of you are new to space, some of you are old to space, you already know, buy the rumor, sell the news. So they could start pumping up to the conference and then they'll drop on your head. So like I said, if you don't know what you're doing in this space and it's your first time in the space, especially if you're not a trader, don't be trying to make these moves. But if you're already holding some good AI coins and some GPU plays, you could start potentially seeing them pump because of this. I did miss one. I still, be honest, I don't regret it because I still don't see enough information behind it. Should I talk about that point? Should I talk about that? Yeah, I'll talk about that now. So it kind of goes in line with what I'm talking about now. So I gotta switch these notes around so I don't skip. Sorry, y'all. Just a minute. Because I'm too tired to be trying to do this off the top of my head. I gotta use my notes. But anyway, I'm gonna say this again, and I've said this plenty of times, and I say this so you guys have some protection and some perspective in the market. So as I said, if you're already holding the AI play, am I still good technical wise? You still hear me? Picture still going? Okay, we good. So I said this before, and I'll say it again. If you're already in an AI play or a GPU play, the conference is coming. You could potentially see your tokens pump. So this morning, as I was on Twitter and some of my other research solutions, I kept seeing people, a few people, talk about this AI token or whatever. And so, yeah, it's a low market cap, and it started pumping. I said, okay, I kind of trust these people, whatever. But they were just speculating on it. They weren't really shilling it or whatever. They were just saying, hey, look at it, whatever. But as I always say, I have like four accounts that I follow people on. The main one that you think is my main account is I'm barely on that thing. But and I was looking around, and out of all four Twitters, it was nothing but scammers on that project. These are people I've been knowing for 2 and 3 cycles. They've been known to only scam on meme coins. So, but because the euphoria is so big in crypto now, a lot of more people learned about it last cycle. So a lot more people coming back this cycle, new people coming this cycle. These people have got smart enough to say, hey, we're going to scam the meme coins, but we also going to make up these plays that seem like legit plays. And when I say there was not one legit person following this play, it was all of the biggest, the nastiest scammers that constantly known to just dump on people. They'll run the meme coin. The target I've been seeing in the past, I don't know if it's going to change this time, but I'm not trying to get in any of the plays that I know they're in. But the play I've been seeing this cycle, and it's like they have this to a math, not 50. They'll scam a meme coin. They'll throw it out there. It might have some kind of bullish name. I don't know. They might name it NVIDIA conference or whatever's popping at the moment. And they'll run it to 40 million market cap, and they'll just dump it on everybody. If you go start look at some of these meme coins, you'll see what I'm saying. These are the guys that are running those. So they'll get in early, give the tokens to each other, whatever. They'll run it to 40 million and they'll dump it on. They don't wait to 100 million. Maybe they see euphoria in meme coins, they're gonna run them longer, but I'm not trying to be in any of those. But I'm saying they had this AI play out now that I saw a couple of people talking about, but it's only them following it. So I know they created it. The website looks trash. So I'm not even sure why some of the people I saw talking about it are talking about it. So here's what you're probably saying. Well, Zoe, if they got pulled and they got all these followers, couldn't it run? Yeah, it could, but they could also dump it on your head. And so, listen, I know I'm Mr. Boring, and I'll tell you, yeah, you can't chase it, but you're like, it's pumping. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to really protect people. As I keep saying, I'm really aggravated with the AI plays I'm seeing on the market right now because a lot of them just seem kind of made up. Even to some of the ones that I see a lot of big influencers pushing it, is they're running because the big influencers are behind them. But I do know there are some better AI plays that's supposed to be coming out this cycle. But um, like I said, I can't wait on that. No matter how good of a project I think is coming out, I can't wait on those right now because I don't know what the cycle is going to look like. But that's actually my last note. I'll get there in a minute. But what I will say is, listen, guys, if you hold on, and I'm not trying to brag here. Look, I can't even do the math. I should be able to do this math fast. But so we had this whole thing here. Like I said, we got in this around 5 or 6 cents this summer, this neon. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just showing you something that when you're getting impatient about your tokens, you have these moments right here, right? And so neon had retraced. We were like 60x on this at one point. It was at like it was like threes. It got to like $3.65. So it retraced. A lot of people would be like, well, that's not smart. So you should have sold out and bought back lower. I don't try to mess with that. But anyway, so it retraced and it's been hanging out for a while. Let's see if we can go to maybe the month chart or whatever. So it's been hanging out a while. It went up here again, but it had dropped back down to like the 130, 120 area. So when you are getting in your tokens and you have conviction, like I'm trying to get you the guys to have now, and you're sitting in those, what's going to happen? You're going to have this feeling later on in the cycle where it's sitting at 130, 120, and then it goes up. Excuse me, I'm gonna go back here. So it goes up 30% in a day. Everybody else is excited about 30%, right? But what really happened is, I'm going to do rough math here. I'm sorry, y'all. But what really happened is you went from like a 22x to a 30x, you know, pretty much overnight. So what was once a 22x was last night, this morning is like a 30x or whatever. So listen, guys, if you just hold conviction and stop trying to trade in altcoins. So somebody ran to Neon to trade it because they saw that Pantera had the news. Solana had the news with Pantera Capital buying the tokens or whatever. And so people ran to Neon and stuff in the Solana ecosystem because they're trying to trade. They want to feel smart. They are very happy about this 30% gain they got right now, right? But you just went from a 22x to a 30x. So that's why I'm telling you guys to hold the tokens and just, if you have conviction in them, not just saying necessarily Neon, I mean, any project. But yeah, just have that conviction to hold on. And yeah. And this is news from, not news, but it's a statement from a guy that's pretty big in the space. I'm not saying I listen to everything he says or whatever, but it's pretty big in the space. But he said a few thoughts on the market this morning. I know it's Mr. Boring again. It said, please don't get trapped in the search for a perfect entry. It will cause you to be sidelined for an inordinate amount of time, leading to more pressure for that perfect entry. And so, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys all the time. Even for myself this morning, if you guys know what I'm talking about, I was like, yeah, there could be a better entry coming, but sometimes you just got to get a little bit of exposure to a token. If you have none, and then if it drops some more, you can get back in there. So once again, y'all, I'm not the only one saying this stuff that sounds boring. It's and I'll talk about my main point now. It sounds boring now, but everybody is talking about the bigger market. Yeah, there's going to be a bigger market because we're already at all-time high before the halving, but it could be big and it could be fast. And everybody, that's why I say whether the price drops or it goes up, you got to control your emotions because this thing can happen so fast. And you don't be sitting there at the end of the cycle like, oh, he did say that. And you just realizing like, dang, I should have listened. Not saying, because people always try to say not financial advice, but I'm just saying, like, if you've been through a cycle, you know what that looks like. Also, this is for me and this is for all of us. We have some targets that we could really reach, right? That your portfolio can move to. But what you don't want to be is disappointed that you didn't get anything. One point that Becker talked about yesterday, and I know a lot of people like pretty much worship this man. I am not one of those people. There's people in this space that talk, that people listen to, and sometimes anybody can give good advice, no matter how you feel about them. But one thing I don't think, one very important part that he mentioned that I don't think a lot of people understand. So like I always say on my chat, if you get that 50x, you should be grateful. On your whole entire portfolio, that's good. That's really good, even though we're shooting for the 100 and 200x. But one point he made that I don't think people realize, when it does start dropping and it's the real final drop off and you all in your euphoric stage, you already made a 50, some of y'all already made 100x. And then you trying to hope for the 200x because you're getting greedy. And you can tell we're at the end of the cycle. When that final drop happens, you do not have a chance to get out like you think. Because, like as he said, he's made a very important point. Because the exchanges start locking up, too many people are trying to move. Gas fees are high on Ethereum or whatever it may be. Everybody's trying to move and transact at the same time. So you got to realize, like, even though you may be shooting for a 200x, and say I mean, you know good and well, like you know almost for a fact that, okay, this token I wrote up to 1 billion, I know for a fact it's probably going to hit 2 billion. You still got to go ahead and start taking some profits, and you're going to feel like, man, this is stupid, man. I'm cutting my gains in half because, maybe you went to 100,000, you made it 100,000. You like, man, but I can make 200,000. But if I take a little profits here, I'm only going to make 140 or 130. Trust me, at the end of the cycle, you're going to be much happier than these people who literally lost it all. And listen, let me tell y'all, there's people who've been here before you. They was in the bear market, the bottom of the bear market, and they're going to lose it all at the end because they're going to get too excited. And I'm not making fun of them. I'm not being petty because it's real sad. It's a sad thing, but it's going to happen because people get caught in euphoria. And so don't be that person. Like, if you start making some gains, good and well, like you started with $1,000. Say you just started with $1,000 and you up to $80,000 and it's probably the end of the cycle. Like, are you really about to just let it all ride? Like, if it looks like it's looking like the end of the cycle and we're talking about on the channel, like you might want to take out 60,000 of the 80,000 you made, right? And maybe leave the other 20,000 in there, right? And nobody wants to hear this stuff because they're like, I'm gonna make maximum gains. Okay, you could try that if you want to, but I'm just letting you know how it could potentially end. But anyway, let's get to some of these comments. Like I said, this could be much bigger cycle, but it could also be faster. Oh, it looks like somebody has questions surrounding this. Man, Chuck LeMaine wrote an essay, didn't you? So a really popular, Chuck LeMaine said, a really popular talking point that I'm seeing is that we've already seen the signs to suggest that we are mid to late cycle, and we need to move on from the idea that the bull run starts with the halving. Because charts suggest that the bull started in January, but 2025, it could be over, and people need to devise new exit strategies that aren't based on April 2024 halving start time, by 2024 start time. What do you think? When I rewatched you last night, you said some stuff like we're still early. I wasn't sure if you meant that we were pre-cycle or just early to catch the top, but I'm mostly curious. What do you think about the exit strategy part? I'm talking about the BTC and ETH bags were not necessarily our meme money. Oh, and good morning. So, well, I guess I've already pretty much talked about that. Yeah. So, like I said, I always say that that parabolic gains usually starts in the cycle. It would be early 2025. But yeah, that's what I just talked about, and I don't think a lot of people are ready for that information. Like I said, that's why even in the Patreon, when you see me trying to give out picks, and there's two sides of it, right? Some people I think they're smart when they say this, and this is how I think. You can't have too many picks because then you're over diversified. And it's better to have less picks and that are good picks, right? But I'm of the mindset now, I try to give more picks because in case somebody didn't catch the last pick, that's one. And I'm trying to help other people find a pick that they can get in on the bottom. But at the same time, the main reason why I'm giving more picks than even I would give, and some people probably don't think it's enough, but it's because I'm of the mindset now that, ooh, like, what if this goes crazy and we all just get punched in the throat and the cycle ends at the end of this year? And what we're really thinking is the parabolic phase starts the beginning of next year, and then we have to at least fall of 2025. But what if that gets flipped on its head? You know what I mean? So I'm of the mindset we still have to have an alt season, right? And if my altcoin bags start moving super fast, listen to this clearly. If my altcoin bags start moving super fast, and I'm at a point where in July, I have already hit a 50x in my portfolio. Mind you, my goal is the 100, 250x, right? But if my bags move to 50x by July, I'm gonna be like, that's when you gotta that day, that month, you gotta start reconsidering. We gotta have those talks in the Patreon on the channel. Like, okay, where's Bitcoin at? where the movement's at. This is going to have to be like a daily, weekly conversation. So if I see something like that, it's 50x and it's about 75x, I'm gonna probably like, for one, I'm gonna be grateful. But you got to start thinking, like, think with your head. Don't think greedy. Of course, people gonna still try to push meme coins past the fall or whatever. But my mindset right now is on both. My mindset is that, hey, I think they'll slow this down and we'll still have a traditional cycle because the big investors want to have astronomical gains too. But I'm also of the mindset, once I talked about this earlier with the politics, left and right. You got to think with both sides of your brain that this could be really fast. It could go up really big. Bitcoin could pump up to $250,000 by July and then, trickle back in altcoins, but it could be fast. It could be really fast. I think Becker was saying this yesterday too. Like, so it's a weekly conversation. So I think that was my take. I gave you both sides of it. So that's my take on it. That's what can happen. We're doing pretty good with time today. Actually, really good. I'm only at 30 minutes. I hope y'all listen. I hope y'all appreciate. I didn't get all the news stories that I wanted to, and probably I looked at a couple I wanted to talk about, but I woke up. I woke up early, then I took a nap. Then I woke up later than I wanted to, and I did like 7 things this morning. I'm proud of myself. So I know y'all may not be able to see it on stream, but I've done a lot this morning. So yeah. So that's why I didn't have as many news stories. But Natty said, morning, y'all. That new Alex Becker video was really informative. I never really watch his videos, but he made valid points regarding why 90% never make money and his exit strategy. Yeah. I'm trying to tell y'all, everybody feels smart because they're like, but I'm early, but I was here in the bear market. But Zoe, I got in your Patreon early or whatever. So I'm going to be one of the ones to get out. But are you? Because what I keep saying is, and I'm not being condescending, I see a lot of y'all emotions get cut, y'all, from the excitement to the depression. Something pumps 50%, y'all go too crazy for me. I'm just being honest because I'm telling you what it should like. Like I keep saying, when I get excited, is around 8x. At least it's got at least 8x for me to be like, okay, cool. We doing something. 2, 3, 4x. I'm still like, okay, cool. That's cool. All right. Okay. Yeah, but the same the other way. Y'all see something. Say you, like I said, I use this example all the time because it's easy math. Y'all buy in at $1, it falls to 30%. Y'all start losing your mind. Like, I gotta sell out. I know it's going lower. I'm gonna sell out and I'm gonna buy some more. You just gotta chill. You gotta be comfortable with your entry. Like I did that this morning on something, and I was like, it probably could go lower. But I also at the same time, I know that even though I probably put 50% in, I know this thing could probably start skyrocketing. I don't know. It could go either way, but I'm going to get some. I'm going to get some exposure to it, and yeah. But y'all, I feel like we got to start having yoga sessions. I feel like I got to, get on live and like do yoga with y'all or something because you got to get those emotions in check. And it sounds like a joke, but it's really not because you're going to get smashed in the head either way. If you get too euphoric or if you get too depressed and whatever, you just gotta buy. It's simple. Buy at a good entry, hold. And I'm not talking about holding to eternity. Like, so back to your question, you said when I said we're still early, we're still early in the cycle. Yeah, it's getting kind of moving, but altcoins are not moving yet. So even we're gonna start looking at some new stuff. Like I said, I know I'm waiting for stuff to come out, but it's at a point now I want to see if we can find some other stuff too. Like I have like 3 or 4 that I'm looking at that are already out on the market, but I gotta see the development and that these things are really gonna move. So once again, to the person who commented that on my YouTube, like all my pick, I don't even think 10% of my picks are on my YouTube channel. Like, to be honest, because I keep all that stuff for the Patreon or whatever, so we can, accumulate and pump our bags or whatever. So yeah, there's been a couple of Patrons that made like buy alerts like a month. I've seen some like a month and a half after we talked about it and bought in. So, so one was like 2 months after. So I'm the small channel, I'm the small Patreon, but I'm telling you, we get in at good entries on stuff. Benjamin K said, "Hey, what do you think about Akash?" I was looking at Akash in the bull. Akash is one of the ones I was actually about to buy, but I actually had to toss up and I actually bought G Swift instead because I felt like it was more upside. And so far, I think I'm still doing better on that trade. Let me see where Akash is right now. But of course, it's in a good narrative. The decentralized computing or whatever they bring. I think they're bringing on a GPU. It's a lot of other stuff they're doing over there. It's a good project, but it's a little too big for the gains that I'm trying to make. And if it does make bigger gains, then I'm thinking, I still feel like my plays are still outperforming. Yeah, I think I'm still pretty much outperforming, or almost right on par with G Swift. And I still for this to do another 2x is another $1.5 billion. For G Swift to 2x is like another 40 million. So I'm gonna still have better performance with G Swift. So Yeah, I had this on my mind back in, I think it was like August, September, but I made this decision to get into G Swift. And it's not that I'm just, always trying to get in low market cap ones, but I got my big caps and my blue chips already, so I'm not looking to get in stuff like Akash. But it's a cool project. If that's your question. Um, Trying to pull this thing back up. Hold on, let me do something real quick here, y'all. We'll get to the next question in just a minute. Excuse me. So, Nindo said, "Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?" As I said, do you think that AI and metaverse is still going to be hot this cycle? Wait, I hope you didn't really ask that about AI. AI has been going crazy already. But the thing is, like, I don't trust a lot of the AI plays, but AI is definitely going to be big. Metaverse too, especially the ones that are more like gaming picks or whatever. Like I said, I know a lot of people keep saying that Metaverse only popped because Meta changed or Facebook changed their name to Meta last cycle, but I don't believe that's true. I know it did help with it, just like some of the AI news, like with the NVIDIA conference coming. So AI coins and GPU coins are pumping, or whatever. But I think Metaverse would be fine, especially if it has more of a gaming element to it. The I will say the Apple VR didn't do as a lot of people were right. I don't think it was a flop, but it's the first version. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get better with it, but a lot of people were expecting the Apple VR or the Vision Pro to help more with that, but I think it's still gonna be fine. Thoughts on cybersecurity narrative this bull run? I don't even know. Is that a narrative? I don't know if cybersecurity is a narrative. It's not something I'm looking to get into. Um, yeah, I'm not thinking about that. I know we had a couple last cycle, like it was like lossless or whatever, and I see a lot of people trying to pump that back up. I mean, it's cool what they said they did or whatever. I didn't get any really hard proof. I think they had one or two use cases, um, but I don't know. So I don't think that's a narrative. Not something I'm looking to hold because, as I was saying earlier, I was trying to get to the. I think it's going to be a bigger cycle, but it could be faster. And so, oh yeah, this is actually a big point. I'm gonna get back to the comments, but a big point here is that what if you weren't in the last cycles before, especially the first two, even last cycle was a lot slower. So last cycle, people could come in last cycle, and if you started for this first 2 or 3 months and you just bought Matic because somebody talked about it, or Solana because somebody talked about it, you still had a decent amount of time to kind of start to understand what it is. You know what I mean? Oh, that's what a layer two is. You might come in not knowing anything. But this cycle, I don't know if retail is going to have that chance. That's why I keep saying I'm trying to get into the stuff that retail is going to automatically understand. And not only that, we only like it was Ethereum came out and then all these layer twos, but it wasn't too complicated, right? Because it was like, what's this new thing, layer twos? Oh, what's this other thing? It's a new blockchain. It really was that. You had new blockchains, Solana, AVAX. You had layer twos. You could figure that out. And gaming wasn't even really a thing. There was only just a few things. Now you're expecting retail to come in and new people, not the people who came in from last cycle, but you're expecting new people to come in, understand what layer twos is, what is a blockchain, what is decentralization, what is DeFi, what is modularity, what is a sequencer, what. So we got all this stuff passing around. They just gonna start. You're gonna make them dizzy. So what is easy for them to understand? AI, gaming. They can still kind of understand layer ones, but so cybersecurity, I don't think anybody's interested in really following that. I may be wrong because people have different perspectives, but I don't know. Anyway, as he said, actually, you have a lot of picks more than 20. Yeah, yeah. I was like, but I can see how somebody could think that because usually YouTubers are braggadocious and they want to come and make a video about the project. Like, see, we were the first in this, but I'm like, bro, most of these they post videos about it. I'm like, I've been in those for months. Like, appreciate pumping my bags, but and I know a lot of people's like, once again, my channel's under 1,000 subscribers, so they like, well, there can't be no good information there because if there was good information, everybody would be there. I don't care. You can continue thinking that and keep losing money, but it's what it is. But yeah, um, as he said, you have a lot more picks, more than 20. I'm thinking about reorganizing my portfolio. Have we looked at your portfolio? And sometimes I know it's easy for y'all to forget, but I can't remember everybody's portfolio that I touched because there's a lot of y'all be DMing me, and some people like, yeah, you ain't answered my DM yet. I'm like, you see how many people in here? Like, give me a minute. I'm one person. And I really try to do diligence and actually help you guys out. I don't just throw you off of some moderator who probably doesn't know either. No, I'm not even gonna get into that conversation. But anyway, but speaking of, while I'm talking, I'll try to do this midstream. So if you do want to get into Patreon, which will be closed off. I keep saying much earlier than other Patreons. It will be a much smaller Patreon. But that is I think the link went through. Did it go through? That's the link. Patreon.com/cryptozo. It's really cheap right now, but the price will double soon. Anyway, Natty said, I told you that lives in my head rent free. No, because everybody gonna want to do it. I know. Tenzin said AGI is flying. AGI flying. Let me see. Yeah, AGI. I really wanted to get an AI play, but I didn't really, because I was looking at so much other stuff. I didn't really have a chance to get into it. Yeah. So y'all up about a 7x on that. So that's pretty good. Yeah. You almost there. You almost at my 8x. You almost there. So no, it's looking good though. It's looking good. Lexodon said, "Let's go, Zoe. Let's go, man." As he said, Solana Maximus. I mean, it's one of my favorites. I'm not a maximalist, but I do like Solana. A lot of institutions are big on Solana. A lot of VCs in the space. A lot of people are big on Solana in the space. So I still say they're like the Apple of crypto. I don't care what downtime they've had in the blockchain going down. They're working to bring stuff on. I will say, yeah, they probably could bring us some more games and DeFi stuff, but I still feel like it's a great project. Yeah. Tad Ape said, "What is that? Is that a meme coin? Did you trying to shill a meme coin on here, man? What is that? I don't even know what that is. I can't even find it. I'll just try to look it up, but let me look one more place. But I doubt if it's not there, then it's probably not gonna be here. But let me look. Was that? Are you talking about staking? I'm lost. I'm too tired. I'm probably missed a lot of stuff this morning because my brain tired. Nettie said, "Are airdrops really worth it?" Last time I did an airdrop was in 2021 for Tectonic and Sunday Swap. I remember Sunday Swap. People was going crazy about that. The airdrop wasn't really worth it. Yeah. Sunday Swap. That Sunday Swap was supposed to change the whole Cardano ecosystem, and it was gonna put it on the map. Man, I really don't mess with Cardano. I ain't gonna flood it today, though. I ain't gonna make fun of Cardano. But I do remember people going crazy about Sunday Swap. But anyway, as far as the airdrops, in the Celestia ecosystem, I think there were. I'm gonna be honest. I missed two big ones, and I could have made a real bag off it, but I missed them because I literally staked my Celestia like 4 to 6 days too late on both of them. And man, I'm talking about I was hot. I ran downstairs, told my lady, and I had to calm myself down. I was like, let me just calm down. But when you stake in Celestia, especially if you got in at the bottom like we did, I bought Celestia around $2. And so I have quite a bit of it. So if you stake in that amount of it, you can get some really good airdrops. Because I do know, because I saw like people who were staking some of the amounts that I have or whatever, and just looking at what they were earning. But what I will say, buying Celestia now for that purpose, I mean, you still can, some people get airdrops for staking one Celestia. I think it's probably could get bigger in the future. It just depends. I know right now I'm in the top 2% for one of the airdrops that's coming for Celestia. So hopefully I can make up my bag for that, for the ones that I missed. So yeah, they're worth it. It depends on which ecosystem though, because I know a lot of people getting disappointed. Like Starknet was trash. People are mad about that. There's another one that just came out recently that was trash. So yeah, you gotta take a percentage of your portfolio and try to do it, but don't just try to chase airdrops. You know what I mean? It's the same as chasing the token. Like I wouldn't try to chase it. Radiant Substance said, Hazel. I say Hazel back to you. Hey, how you doing? Taddy said Mexi likes to freeze transactions over 10K. Yeah, maybe I should talk about that on the channel. Well, I'll say it today. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that. So if you get in a token and you put a decent amount in there and it's gonna run, when you see that sucker getting around to, if some of y'all be trying to put in more than that, whatever, or I guess I have sometimes too, but before you hit that, really, I tell people before you hit 8K in that token, try to get it off the exchange. Or if you have more than 10K, I still say 8K. If you have more than 8K in the token on Mexi, ladder it out slowly. You're gonna have to do it over time. I wouldn't do it in one day. Like do 4,000 at a time or whatever, and take it off there. Don't try to take I wouldn't try to take 8,000 to 10,000 off at one time. And like I tell everybody, when I buy it on Mexi, I immediately send it to my cold storage and I get it off the exchange. That's any exchange really, because they can lock up, like I was saying earlier. So when people think they're gonna ride the wave to the top and it starts dropping off, you don't have time to get out because the exchanges start locking up because everybody's trying to get out. And so y'all just like stuck in the chamber. Everybody's trying to run out for the door, and it's just too many people trying to get out. So just try to ladder out your profits on the way up, and yeah, definitely don't try to take out more than 8,000 to 10,000 on Mexi at a time. So 4,000 today, 4,000 tomorrow, that kind of thing. Man, oh, I think you said we really need to prepare ourselves mentally about taking profits in the Patreon. Oh yeah, I got you. Listen, I'm telling you right now, just chill because we're early in the aspect. Like the person said, maybe we're not. I still feel like we're earliest to the cycle, and I know people seeing it like mid cycle because yeah, last cycle the prices that Bitcoin are now was the middle of the cycle. That was like April 2024, Mayish, April 2024. Then we went down in May, and we came back up around October, November. So in April of 2021, which would be April of 2025, we were already at these points. So some people are saying that's how they're seeing it. But I still feel like there is the gains do go up each cycle. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to reach that 110 to 115, kind of area or whatever. And then that's when I'll start kind of worrying, whatever. And depending on how my altcoins have performed, watching the big caps, the mid caps, and so on and so on. But you're just waiting for that money to flow back into your altcoins and stuff. So no, we'll talk about it. I'll just tell you, hey, at least y'all need to take some anxiety tea, take some, drink some ashwagandha tea or something. Take your vitamin D, run a lap, do some exercise to control that anxiety. I said, as soon as I start seeing parabolic gains this year, I ain't going to be waiting for 2025. I'm going to start taking profits. Yeah. Yeah. Especially, like I said, once you start hitting a 50X on your entire portfolio, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I like your Tinsen says, I like your mindset about this bull run. Glad to be in your Patreon. I hope we discussed the where we are in the cycle. Okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of talk about it on the channel, so well, yeah, we can talk about it there too. I feel like I need another nap, but I know I'm not. I need to stay up. I got stuff to do. Natty said it feels good to know what Zoe's talking about now that I'm in the Patreon. Yeah. The biggest thing in crypto is really managing emotions. It really is. I'm telling you, the negative and the positive. You're gonna have super negative and you're gonna have super positive emotions, and you got to control both of them. You really gotta be stone poker face. Like you have a poker face, you gotta have poker emotions. You just gotta be real chill about it. And then bounce ideas off each other and talk it out with, maybe you need to vent to somebody in Patreon. Hey, what do you think we are? You doing all right? You cool? Yeah, I'm a little scared right now, whatever it is. Let me take this off screen because I don't want people to think this is all I'm here to do. But anyway, Jacob said there's more buying pressure, but the crypto market is based on BTC. How BTC reacts after breaking all-time high will set the pace for this cycle. Yeah, exactly. Tenzin said Alex Becker called the top on Cardano last cycle, and everyone on comment section was hating on him. Then everybody got wrecked. Be trying to help these people. They don't want to listen. They get greedy. Because let me tell you what happened last cycle. Listen, there's a bunch of scammers in the space. That came out quicker than I wanted to. I wanted to color it up and use some euphemisms, but whatever. There's a lot of scammers in the space. And we have some smaller scammers now. We got big scammers with big channels, and we got scammers with small channels now. Y'all know. But so a lot of them were kept pushing people, telling Cardano was going to $8 and $10. And when you're listening to some of the biggest channels in the space, you're like, they're the biggest channels in the space, and you think they have all this power because they got millions of followers or 500,000 followers or whatever. They don't hold the power. There's big dogs out there with the money, the cycle, Bitcoin runs the cycle. It's so many other things. So yeah, a lot of people last cycle were preaching that Cardano was going. It was $8, $10, was it? I saw some people say $12. So when you're saying that to a holder who's been holding since a penny, and this is how greedy people are. This is the trash I'm talking about. Excuse me, I'm tired, y'all. I can't look for euphemisms today. This is how I talk. Sorry, but this is the kind of trash I'm talking about. That some people get so greedy that you got Cardano at a penny, and you're at a 230x, and you have taken no profits at all, not zero. And then somebody tells you, yeah, it's going to $10. You're like, yeah, I'm about to make 1,000x. I know we all want 1,000x. I understand that. I'm a human. I want 1,000x too. But it was pretty clear we were getting close to the end of the cycle. And so they wasn't trying to hear it because, you had, I'm not going to say no names, but you had people saying that it was going to $8, $10, $12. And they were holding on to that faith. And just like, man, how crazy you got to be up 200x and then just 230x and just ride it all the way to the bottom. And so what's going on? You got those people from last cycle. So they got a big cheerleading squad in Cardano community. And so people like to talk about how bullish the Cardano community is or whatever, and how it's not that. It's that they lost money and they're trying to pump it back up instead of just taking the loss and putting their money into another token or whatever. Because they still can get long-term capital gains, if they wait over a year. But that's what that really is. I'm gonna get off that one. But I guess he was trying to help him out, but they didn't want to listen. Fly75 said connects or G Swift or both. It depends on how much capital you're working with. That would be a question for you to ask me in the Patreon and DM or something like that. But it depends on how much capital you're working with, what your portfolio allocations are. I would say, yeah, you could try to get both. I can't say I'm necessarily more bullish on G Swift, but probably a little bit more bullish on G Swift to answer your question. But I mean, I like both. Any play I hold, tell you about, guys, I have conviction in them all. And once again, I have more picks than just on the channel. So I don't know if you're in the Patreon or not, Fly75. I know you're on the stream all the time, but if you are in the Patreon and your name's just different on here, ask me in the Patreon. And if you're not, those are not the only picks I have. So you can have some other picks too. But that's up to you guys. Like I said, join the Patreon before the price doubles. And like I'm letting you know, like if verbatim, because most people say the price increasing. You're like, well, how much is that? Is it going to increase by $5? And like I'm letting you know, here it's going to double. Those that are in there, they're going to be grandfathered in at the price they're in if they don't leave. If you leave and try to come back, you're going to be paying the higher price. But whatever. Tenzin said Manta finally moving. I'm telling you guys, like, and that's why you have to have your portfolio diversified. You're gonna have some big caps, you're gonna have some smaller ones, or whatever. And so we got in Manta, like I think my first entry was like 221 or whatever. Then we got some more like 207 or whatever. So yeah, I guess we can talk about it on the channel now. But yeah, we got, that's what I'm saying. Like for the person who's like, I'm only in certain plays or whatever, like they think it's just G Swift or whatever's on my channel. No. And so yeah, we got in, like a lot of people got in, I think around that 207, 217 area, and then I saw other people doing like buy alerts on it like at $3. So whatever. Ad Tank said, Yozo, do you hold the big caps just for the hedge? I hold them for the hedge, and I hold them because I got in early, and they still could do some of my big caps that I got into could still do some of the numbers of my altcoins because I got in so early. And yeah, for the hedge, that's when I hold my big caps is for like, is to say if I'm the one, I don't think I'm going to be, so I want to scare y'all. He's like, well, I'm in your Patreon, you better not be the one. But if all else fails, I've made gains that I can live off until the next cycle or whatever, with those big caps or whatever, even though it may not be life changing. So yeah, you got to have some hedge in there, especially if you have a big enough portfolio, you should have some big caps to hedge, right? If you have smaller portfolios and you need to make some life changing money, okay. Oh, thanks, babe. Sorry. Yeah. So if you have a smaller portfolio and you're trying to change your life, and I'm not, listen, when I say smaller portfolio, it doesn't mean, I'm not trying to say like I'm Mr. High Dollar and you're broke and whatever. But if you have a smaller portfolio, you probably do want to have a lot of lower caps, and because you're trying to change your life. It's like you kind of got to be DJing if you want to make some tremendous gains or whatever. I wouldn't recommend somebody with a smaller portfolio hold a bunch of big caps, maybe one, maybe two, depending on your portfolio size. But yeah, I have those as a hedge. I have, I hate to say it this way, but it's the honest truth. I have big caps as a hedge, and I also have some meme coins as a hedge. Whether y'all believe it or not, it is a way to hedge. I talked about this yesterday. A hedge is just something that's different from what your normal is. That's how I see it, at least anyway. Taddy said Stakey is a person that will get you wrecked. I have no idea who they are. I guess I'm glad I don't. Yeah, like listen, there's some people with some big channels in the space that I know people believe in, and they just straight scammers. And I feel bad because I'm like, y'all really don't have a soul. Like y'all up here messing people up. Like we were talking about in the Patreon, this kid, we used to call the Crypto King. He's a kid from Canada named Aiden something from last cycle who was scamming people or whatever. And they got a documentary out about it or whatever. And I think some of the people found him and kidnapped him and beat him up pretty bad or whatever. And so I don't know why his case is still open because I think he should have went to jail. But whatever, man. It's just heartless people who don't care. I didn't, like, my mother raised me different. I didn't know there's people like that. And like, you literally that heartless that you're scamming people and you don't even care. But it is what it is, man. Karma will get them. It's whatever. Taddy said we were talking about people that shield stuff. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, you pay attention to the space too. Okay, I see a couple that you mentioned. Exactly. So you know what's going on. I ain't gonna say their name. Y'all read the comments. That's nice. I appreciate that you kind of pay attention to the space and I mean, it's cool that, people kind of rely, on stuff that I say, but like I said, a lot of people try to like follow my Twitter. Sometimes, let me be honest, sometimes on my main Twitter that y'all know, don't be, you got to be in the Patreon, because sometimes I follow bad projects on purpose to see if people gonna shill them, because they be like, oh, look, I found the alpha. It's a bad project. And then, like I said, I follow scammers in the space too, and they be having big channels, and people are like, oh, if he follows this person that has a lot of followers, then that must be where he getting his alpha from. And then it's not though. I just follow them because I know they're scammers, and I know not to get into projects that they're invested in. So yeah, Chuckerman said, on your Patreon, do you have how many X's your picks still have left? Usually I always say, 50X minimum. We're shooting for 100X, but 50X minimum, and some of them could go 200, 300X. I don't know. You got to get in there. Wait, are you seriously still not in the Patreon? Because I know y'all YouTube and Patreon names are different. Y'all better tell them in the comments. You're wasting your time. If you still asking me about the Patreon without getting in, you're missing a lot of stuff. And like I said, I guess that's what people think. Now that I know that people come to my channel like, oh, these are just his picks. Oh, he must not know nothing. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably never going to make another pick video. Like I might not ever make another video about the picks I have. I don't care that somebody posts a video first and want to pretend that they got in it first or whatever. And they probably watch my channel like, yes, he's not going to post a video so I can act like I was first. I don't care. As long as my people are making money, man. But yeah, you late, man. You're late, man. You got to go ahead and get in Patreon, man. But whatever. Katie Kate said you should just go ahead and join. Yeah, man. I'm trying to. Okay, it's interesting, man. You come on here all the time, man. You missing out. Tenzin said, Tenzin. Now you should know. I just said that like he was my nephew. Come on. Yeah, I know. So let's see. Benjamin said, thanks for the alpha. Hold on. Thanks for the alpha. What would you say are the okay? Let's see. Thanks for the alpha. What would you say are the biggest two learnings from the past years in terms of the perspective of the crypto space? There ain't two, man. It's like 9, 10, 12. Like I said, one of the main ones I think Alex said, you could very well know that you could potentially 150x your portfolio. But you can either wait for the 150x or you can take the 100 or 75x and know that you've made money that can change your life. And you have to, let me give you another story. I gave the story the other day. Even if you know you can 150x, you have to take the 75x or the 100x or the 50x and say, I've 50x my entire portfolio and I have changed my life. I'm going to tell you what a friend of mine did. He's actually supposed to be in the Patreon soon, and he can share the story. So, I think he doesn't mind sharing it. But he got in Doge, like this sounded crazy when he told me he got in Doge like very early. I don't want to say a market cap, but I can't, but I know he got in very early. That's what I'll say. And I believe I'm gonna let him tell it though. I believe he did like, like over 200x. I'll say that. I know it was over 200x. And so at 64 cents, he sold out and he did over 200x. He heard that Elon Musk was going on Saturday Night Live to talk about Dogecoin. So literally, let's just, I'm throwing out a number. Say he put in whatever he put in. He did a 200x. And say he came out with, I'm just making up numbers. Say he came out with $800,000. He put the entire 800,000 back into Doge after selling it at 64 cents. So at 64 cents, he sold it. And let's say he made $800,000. He put that entire 800,000 back in because he heard Elon was going on Saturday Night Live. And everybody was saying it was going to go to $1 or $2 because these people weren't focused on market caps. I think it ended up topping out about, let me see, I think it was 82, 86 cents. Let me pull it up real quick. It really doesn't matter, but I know it was around it. It was around the 80 cents range. I think it was like 82. Let's go. Let's look. All time. It's reading it's like 70 here, but I thought it made it 80 cents. But anyway, it's reading about 70 cents here. And they were all waiting for it to go to $1. And then it just crashed on all of their heads. So sometimes you're not going to get the most that you're going to make. Sometimes if you pull out at that 50 and 75x, do not be the stupido that says, but no, the market's not over. It's still moving. And then you jump back into the market and lose it all. Like, please, man, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna say I know you said 2, but there's really like 12 lessons, but I'll give you that one. That's really one of the best lessons I'm trying to tell you. UK Flow said, I appreciate the response that frees up a few K. Got some 10 to 20x plays in your Patreon, still preferably on KuCoin and Mech. Oh, what just happened to the live stream? What just happened? I don't know. Something just happened. In the Patreon, yeah, we got plenty of. She be on it. She told me soon. It's back. But if you're not in the Patreon, you should be in the Patreon. Yeah, they're in there. They're definitely in there. So yeah, you got to get in the Patreon. Alexanon said, we in the Patreon know where these picks came from first. Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, I won't catch every pick. I'm not trying to be that guy. Like, I'm the best in the space. I know everything. But we get in a lot of plays first, and a lot of people, they don't know what the project is, and they got to find conviction on it. They got to hear somebody else talk about it. But like I said, the plays that I get in, like, I've already been tracking them for 6, 8, 12 months, sometimes 2 years. And so I already know they're coming out. And I'm just looking for new stuff that's on the market and maybe see what else is coming. Yeah. Lexidon, he's a really nice guy too. That's what I'm saying. If you meet him and if you even see him talk, he's not even that type of person. Like, seriously, he's like very humble. He's a real chill. Like, he's so chill. Like, I can't explain it. So when he's telling me the story, I'm like, oh no, you wouldn't have did that. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. The most important lesson is, you think you got it. You think you got in early on these plays because Zoe told you about them early. We got in on the bottom. I got my head together. When that market starts flying, because y'all be getting excited sometimes about a 2 and 3 and 4x. No, sir. You're going to go to sleep one night and you're going to wake up the next night and one of your plays will have 12x overnight. That's when you start getting stupid crazy and you think you know what you're doing, and you just like, and you just start getting greedy, because I promise this guy is one of the most, he's in the top. He's definitely in the top 5. I want to say the top 3 most humble people I've ever met in my life. I would say he's in the top 5 for sure. And to see that he did that, I'm like, ooh, it made me even think more about myself. I was like, man, like, he probably could, So you got to watch it though. That's one of the toughest lessons is pulling out at a 50 and 75x, knowing that you can get 100 and 150x. So, if you get to that 50x, maybe you want to pull out, I can't say numbers right now, but maybe you want to pull out 25% of your portfolio, or maybe 50%, and let the rest ride. But you've already made some gains with it if you want to see if it can ride some more. But once again, we'll talk about this every day if we can, every week if we can, to make sure you guys are protected or whatever. But that's one of the biggest things is like people not taking profits in time and just getting greedy. Like I said, the Cardano people were up. Listen, you do not understand. These Cardano people were up 200x, man. And they heard certain influencers say it was going to $10, $12. One person said $18. If you know the market cap of Cardano, you like, what? At the time, it was crazy. And they were saying it was going to $18 when it was at $2. And so the people believed it and they rode it to the bottom. And so all those people are back next cycle to let you know how great Cardano is, because they need to pump their bags back up. But anyway, yeah. The ad tank says, so good to have such a supportive wife. Yeah, she's amazing, man. I'm telling y'all. Listen, y'all might see me smile a lot. Y'all might see me cry out here. I don't give a doggone. If you knew the life I had, like, I know some of y'all hear me talk about it a little bit, but you really, y'all couldn't even put together what my life looked like. Like I keep saying, because I think I speak pretty well to be where I'm from. So y'all don't know the stuff I've seen, the stuff I've been through. So to have I'm getting emotional. Yep. Yeah, I didn't think I had a chance to have somebody like her. So I'll get off the stream before I get, to see people think I'm soft because I cry. So, you can't, but listen, I'm going to not say that because that sounds toxic, man. I think a lot of men be like, oh, you can't cry, man, because you're not a man. Like, I'll beat the crap out of somebody. Y'all don't understand. Like, I'm no gang, but I enjoy life. And the thing is, I've lived past that. Like, I've gotten to the point old enough, like, when you grow up in the hood and stuff, everything is about being tough. It's about grimacing. I smile more now in my life than I ever have, because the thing is, when you grow up in the hood, that you can't let nobody see that smile, because like they think you soft then, or you weak or whatever, you somebody to be played with or whatever. But I'm older, I'm past that stuff. It's not a real thing. I'm gonna say this. I talk about crypto enough. Like, when you grow up in the hood like I did, you think it's a real world. You really think this is BMF. You really think this is Snowfall. That world is fake. Nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. It's your block. Nobody cares. You don't own the block. Are you stupid? You don't own that block. You don't even own your house. You're renting. Like, this is my block. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's probably some dude from another country that owns it. You don't own that block. Yeah, when you come through, like, we had this thing, like, because we had a lot of gangs and stuff. So when you come through the block, y'all probably heard this. You got to check in. You got to check in with the OG. dude, you don't even own your own house, bro. And so when I got older and realized that it was how stupid it was and all this gang stuff, and you know, it's just stupid. Y'all fighting and shooting somebody over what color your flag is, and like when you get older, you really realize how dumb it is. Like you just blew this man face off because he had a blue bandana in his pocket. What if he wanted to blow his nose, bro? Like, are you serious? Like, you just realize how fake the world is, how other people are not paying attention to it. You think you making money and you fanning out cash and whatever. And I'm gonna give this story too. So, and y'all got enough crypto, so I'm gonna get this story. So when I was in college, I tried to work a 9 to 5, and it was just really rough. And so I ended up. I know this is gonna sound crazy. Once again, y'all gonna think I'm even softer now, but whatever. So I love kids or whatever, and I want to have my own kids or whatever. But I'm an athlete. I'm a really good athlete. Matter of fact, I'm really fast. I do everything athletic, good basketball player, everything. So I got my main job. I was a manny, which is like a male nanny, but my main job really was like to train their kids in sports and get kids in shape and help them lose weight and all that kind of stuff. And so this one job I had, she was one of my clients that I was working for. And so being from the hood, you see all your guys who sell drugs and whatever, whatever stuff they do or whatever, and they fanning out all this cash. And so you think that's a lot of money. And I remember at the time when I was working for her, she was married. Her husband was a pilot, and she worked in textile. And so I would train their kids. One of the kids played soccer, it was soccer, basketball, and track, and I would train both of the kids or whatever. And so when she would pay me at the end of the week, I was making good money. I would work 3 to 4 hours a day. I worked only 3 to 4 hours a day training them. And so every week my pay was like around $1,500, and then she would put gas on top of that. And when I say she would write that check like she was paying for pizza, like it was nothing. It was like, yeah, oh, I got to put gas on top of this. And she would just write it. Like most time when people spend money, they write it and they got to look at it. Like they got to make sure it's right. They got to make sure the number's right. That not too much money coming out of their account. But just by herself, she would pay me out of only her earnings, not their income put together. And so when I noticed this woman was paying me $50,000 a year, like she was buying candy at the store, that's when I realized the money that my friends had, the drug money, even some of the top drug dealers, I was like, probably nothing. You know what I mean? And so you just realize how disconnected you are when you're in that, that world. How do I get to this topic? It don't matter. I got here some kind of way. But yeah, man. But yeah, I'm so lucky to have a woman like her, man. It makes your life so much better. Like I said, I've been through bad relationships, and it just changes your life. Even for me doing this, like, I help you guys out and you guys make money and stuff. But she was like, you should do this because you know a lot about it. You can help people. I was like, no, they're not gonna listen because I'm not gonna do my show like other people. I'm not gonna have no fancy intro. I'm not gonna have this, that, and the other. And she's very encouraging, man. Like a lot of people, like especially when you from where I'm from, man. Man, I told myself I done cried on stream twice. I said I wouldn't do it again, but a lot of people act like they're afraid of death, and maybe I'm not. Because you got to go at some time. But I want to be here to create a legacy and do the stuff that I want to do. So yeah, you want to be here, but I've seen so many people get killed. I had like 3 best friends killed in my life. I'm not just talking about somebody who lived around the block or like lived up the street or I knew them from school. I'm talking about like my best friends who I saw every day. Like this is my main friend, right? And so I have like 3 of them killed in my life. One at 5, one at 14, and one at 17. And so I'm just trying to do something different, man. So, I'm at the point like I know who I am, I know what I can do. So, whether it's my smile or me being like a family oriented person, I don't care what anybody think about me, think I'm soft or think they can take me, because I guarantee you'll find out different really fast. Like all that nice voice that you hear coming out of me and the nice smile that you think you see will change really fast. But yeah, man, I just want to help people, just really change their lives, man. Like I don't want people getting to a 200x and trying to ride it to 1,000x. But yeah, man, I'm thankful for her, man. If I talk about it more, I'll get emotional. Uh-huh. I built my portfolio with the bigger caps and the smaller caps. Because like I said, at the beginning of the cycle, man, I was helping out my mom, my grandfather and stuff, so I couldn't even really put money in the market. But I built it with both of them because I knew I would have money to put in the market later. Like I said, because I knew months ahead of time what plays were coming out, I was already like ready in position to be able to buy them or whatever. Like some of the ones I'm giving you guys now, I know a lot of people are like, let's see what's on the market already. But I'm like, I want to stick to the ones that I know have a lot of potential to run, and then we can go dig in the market and see what's buried or maybe it's been hibernating for a while or whatever. So yeah, I built it all smaller and bigger caps. 575 said facts. Glad to be a year from 40, bro. Survived South Central. Yeah, man. So places like South Central, yeah, like people like I seen people shot and killed, their face blown off, seen people on fire. I've seen crazy stuff, man. So yeah, man. It's I'm glad to be here, man. Chuck the Main said I'm gonna join the Patreon. I'm broke, but why not? Bro, if you don't join the Patreon, you're gonna stay broke. 575 said, go ahead, Zoe, let it out, bro. We harbor a lot of pain in our community. True, 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 true. I mean, I always let mine out. She know it. Any chance I get, whether it's exercise or crying, I ain't afraid to cry. Yes, because the crying lets. I don't think people realize. I'm not trying to get philosophical here or scientific, but it lets out impurities. Like that's why a lot of people have depression, anxiety, um, um, high blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. Like you gotta let out all those toxic fluids, like all that stuff. You gotta let. I think somebody just said it. Yeah. Fly 75 said my best friend got killed when we were 16. Think about my bro all the time. Wonder how if he's proud of me. Yeah, man. Dang, man, you making me emotional, man. Yeah, one of my best friends when I was 17, man. Dude was the nicest kid. Dude was funny. He was a good rapper. We used to call him Wiz. Uh, David Nave. We used to call him Wiz, man. Killed for no reason, man. Just trying to help his family. It's funny because I talk about seeing people on fire, but his situation was his house was on fire. He ran into the gas station trying to call 911 because he couldn't get in his house and stuff. And it just ended badly, man. It's just real stupid, man. Real stupid stuff, man. But I wondered that all the time. Man, I guess I gotta get on off here, man, because I'm but yeah, I hope he's proud, man. Tad Ape said people saying toxic masculinity is a privileged thing to say because where I grew up, you had to be like that to survive. You don't realize life isn't like that until you get out of that environment. Yeah, you don't realize until you get out. You like, what? I can smile and I ain't got to worry about fighting every day. And you know, especially a lot of people think they tough because they done had one-on-one fights, man. Until you get jumped like by 3 or 4 people, you don't know how tough you are. And the thing is, I always like was in shape and I worked out a lot and I was fast. I was fast with my hands and running or whatever. But yeah, I was on the smaller side, but I was in shape. But yeah, until you get jumped by 3 or 4 people and you realize like, man, you got to fight your way through that. You got a body slam one. That was not I always had like I had that bottom strength because I'm a little short or whatever. So yeah, I've been in some crazy situations, man. Taddy said, or get lucky that you have great role models. Yeah, so my father passed when I was a baby, so I didn't have that either. That's why I tell my mom all the time how great a job she did as a widower. Because most people when they don't have a good man in their life, they do terribly. I didn't have like any kind of man influence in my life until yeah, it was I was already 20 something, like what I mean. Um, yeah. Ad Tank said, "Love this community is so authentic." Oh, appreciate it, man. I know a lot of people think that's stupid. They like, "Shut up, dude, and talk about crypto." I mean, we already talked about crypto. I'm just rambling at this point. Laxodon said, "Facts. I grew up in New York in the '90s. Getting jumped was the norm." Yeah, right. Like you just walking home. You just walking home trying to like from the corner store, with your chips or whatever, and then some like people run out the bushes. Like, yeah, man. That's why even sometimes she laugh at me now because I'll be like on high alert still, and I've been out of that environment for a long time. But it's just like any little brush I hear, like I'm always turning to see what's going on. So yeah, that's why I started this channel. I mean, I don't mind who I help, but I started this channel to help people who may be from where I'm at. They may only have $300 to invest for the entire cycle, and some of y'all, that might be a quick trade for you, or whatever. That might not even be a trade for you. But some people only got $300, $200 for the entire cycle. So that's why I started this channel for. Yeah, I know the Patreon is 50 a month and it's 100, but it does take money to make money. And so it's almost like I'm doing the research for everybody. So the money together kind of just helps sort of pay for the time it takes, because I've been having like 19-hour days and like 5 hours of sleep, and that's not fun at all. But it's kind of a part of it. But yeah, so it's a part of it. So yeah, I cried enough, man. But listen, man, I try to tell you, when you get the right woman in your life that you really love, and I ain't talking about just a lot of people pick people because, and oh, my girl's bad. Y'all saw her one time. She's beautiful, like naturally beautiful, no makeup, no nothing. Like she's gorgeous. But a lot of people just get in relationships because they think the other people gonna think their partner is attractive, and it's almost like people treat relationships like cars now. That's what they do. Like their partner is like a Mercedes. Like, look, I got a Mercedes, and it's like, but do you get along with this person? Like when you're not in front of everybody and taking fake pictures on Instagram to make people think you happy. Like, do you really enjoy your time with this person? And so she really is my best friend. Not like she's really my best friend. And when you really feel what that feels like, because we all been in relationships when you thought you was in love and you cried when you broke up, right? I've been through that. But with her, it's like, well, you really like you now. I'll just be like, I cried over that relationship. Like that wasn't nowhere near this relationship. Like, but yeah, I'm very excited, man. I'm you just feel lucky, blessed. I'm alive. I got a great relationship, a great person in my life, great help. I help her too. We help each other. We don't fuss and fight all the time. We can disagree without doing all that crazy stuff. So if you think the tears is funny now or unwarranted or whatever, I'm shilling Doge. Look at me. I just be leaving stuff on the stream. They're gonna think I'm shilling Dogecoin. I'm like, he don't know what he's talking about. He's shilling Dogecoin. But yeah, once you get that in your life, it makes your life so much better. Y'all have, man, hopefully you get an idea. I want to say you don't have any idea, but man, the emotions, like you just know you lucky. Especially I see stuff that people going through. I used to see stuff on social media and I thought I knew what people were going through as far as relationships, but it was much worse than I thought, man. I be seeing like I see one of my homegirls, she posts all the time, like this guy, he cleans the kitchen or whatever, and the women just be going crazy in the comments. And I'm like, dang, y'all dude don't even wipe the counter? Like, come on, y'all gotta do better, guys. If y'all not even wiping the counter, bro. Nobody's saying you gotta be like Mrs. Clean and clean it from head to toe with a toothbrush, but wipe the counter off. You know what? Now I sometimes, I miss it sometimes too, because I'm here really working all day and she comes home from work and she's taking care of some of that stuff. But when I can, I try to do it. But some people is like, never. Like, I mean, some of the stuff I see, opening the door, telling them they're beautiful. I'm like, I don't know what y'all doing in these relationships, man, because I don't know. But then on the other side, this whole entitlement thing, like every woman thinks they're gonna marry a millionaire now. So I think both sides of the dating world it's really bad right now, man, for everybody. I mean, it's bad, man. So yeah, man, I'm glad to have her, man. Y'all don't understand. Yeah, she the best, man. She's the best. So I try to work every day. Each week is even now even thinking more so about the clean and counter thing, because like so sometimes I'm glued to this computer studying. Even I hear I'm tell the truth. Sometimes I hear this the Discord going over here, but I'm actually studying for you guys. And sometimes I know if I break focus that I'll get off. But I'll be glued to this computer all day, and sometimes she'll come on. A lot of times I'll say she will come on. There'll be dishes in there or whatever. But I'm trying to even work on that and be better at that. But she does understand like the work I put in and stuff. I think she does, and that I work hard and stuff. So you got to be helpers to one another. All this gender role stuff and who does who, and I did my 50%. Now you do your 50%. All that stuff is stupid, man. Sometimes you're gonna do 90% and they do 10. It's a team effort. It's the same doggone plane. What you gonna say? I'm flying my wing of the plane, so if your wing go down, I don't care. Like, the whole plane gonna go down. Like these podcasts are really. I'm talking about really whatever. Man, I don't care. It's my channel, man. But these podcasts are really messing up relationships these days. Men and women be saying some stupid stuff, man, and I just be like, y'all sound crazy, man. So anyway, I'm gonna get off that soapbox. Yeah, man. But the biggest lesson, like I said, listen, knowing when to try to take profits at a good time and don't be greedy is the main lesson of the day, I think. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out and chilling out while I talk about all this relationship stuff or whatever. And but I'll also say be thankful for the life you guys had. Some of you guys may not have grown up rough like some of us that talk like Lexidon and stuff that we're talking on the channel and stuff. So realize that you should be grateful. And that's not to any particular type of people. Like, a lot of people have it rough. A lot of people had it worse than me too, as well. So always be grateful for where you are in life, even when you feel like you got problems and you don't have enough money or whatever it may be. Revisit how you're looking at your situation. Just focus on how you can make it better. Um, yeah, we got a lot to be thankful for. Well, for one, no matter how people feel about it, I'm not trying to be Mr. Patriotic here because I'm be honest, probably I'm not really super patriotic type of person. But we don't live in a war torn country where you got bombs being dropped on you, every night. You don't have to sleep through that. The worst of my sleep is last night I got 5 hours of sleep because I went to bed too late and had to wake up, early in the morning. But I don't have to listen to bombs, and some people have to get used to that. I don't even know if I can say it on stream. YouTube might flag me. I don't know, but it's a lot to be thankful for, man. But anyway, let's make this money. Thank you guys for hanging out on the stream, and I'll see you guys next time.